I'm excited for tonight. Again, our last time meeting at 6:30. Next week we're going to be meeting either at 5 or at 7. I can't wait to see which one you pick. You got to pick the 5, you got to pick the 7. Who knows? I'm excited to see. And this is your first time to hear that it is our last time to meet at 6:30, and then we're going to have the 5 and we're going to have the 7 on Sunday nights. Don't worry, more information is coming your way. We're going to give you some more information later tonight. Don't feel like, you're like, wait, I don't really know what time to come now. I'm kind of confused. You won't be. You won't be confused. Don't worry. We got you. We're all family here. You're only a visitor once, and then your family. So tonight, I'm excited. If you can't tell. You can't tell me and Sam Lee are excited, okay? Because tonight we're starting a new series called Love Becomes... Sorry. Which one is it? Did I get mixed up? Oh, yeah, I got it right. Okay, I was like, wait a minute. I said it too many times already. Called Love Becomes Culture. Here's the heart behind saying that. I believe that culture has caught us up, the church, Christians, everybody, has caught us up and is telling us what is cool, what we should love, what we should enjoy, what we should watch, on and on. It's culture. I mean, it's this idea of, it's a mixture of media and news. It tells us what we're hungry for. It tells us what to look at on our phones. It tells us what apps to download. Culture, this is where you live. This is what makes up your DNA. It makes up your beliefs. And culture wants you to have beliefs. Strong beliefs. Religious and faith-filled beliefs. Culture wants you to have those. It's what informs you to make social and intellectual decisions. Culture. But there should be a different force that should be driving us as believers. And instead of culture telling us what we should be doing, where we should be going, how we should be thinking, I believe we should be pouring into culture doing that very same thing as the church. I mean, after all, our God is the creator. So shouldn't the church be on the front lines of producing the most creative movies, material, books, art, t-shirts? I mean, after all, we serve the leader that understands that leading is serving. And I'm not going to take this jump that the world is now trying to kind of sell us that same message as if our God didn't create it. That servanthood is real leadership. And that the greatest often look like the weakest. I mean, shouldn't we, the church, be standing up because we actually have wisdom? And so when difficult questions are asked and difficult things happen, shouldn't we, the church, people, and I'm not talking about pastors or getting on the internet and saying things. I'm talking about you, how you live and how you act and how you talk when you're with your friends. Shouldn't we be the ones that are giving wise advice instead of taking everyone else's advice? I mean, after all, we have the one thing that cannot be manufactured, that everybody wants to experience. We have it. It's love. It's the only thing that truly changes. I mean, if you have great spiritual gifts, but don't have love, if you have creativity and you have wisdom and you're a great leader, but you don't have love, I mean, if you're good at sports and the team's following you, but you don't have love? You're making the money you need to make, or maybe you're not. Either way, you're doing your best to lead your family, but are you loving them? This is why, as a church, I feel like this new series is going to be the spot we need to be in. Because here's the thing, I really feel like the formula to love becoming culture is very simple. I don't feel like it's that hard. It may be hard to implement, in our own lives, but it's not difficult to figure out. And so over these next several weeks, we're going to be looking at the very breakdown of the culture of Authentic City Church and saying, whether this is your first time to come, whether you never come back, whether you come every week, it doesn't matter. If you will follow these principles, God will use the love of Christ in you to change what is around you no matter what. So that's why we said, okay, where are we going to start? Authentic City Church, right? This is our name that we chose. Like, we're not going to come in and do this fake. We're not going to say we pray and we don't pray. We're not going to come and worship. This is not the only time me and my wife worship during the week, is this time. This is our life. We live a life of worship. We want you to do the same thing, to be real with people, and to share hurt, and to share pain, and to cry with people. So when we came and we said, okay, so what is our mission going to be? What's our mission statement going to be as a church? It was easy for us. We said, for all to love God, love people, and impact the kingdom. And it wasn't like, oh, we got some creative thing, we came up with it or whatever. It's like we took it straight out of the Bible. Jesus is asked, and more than once in the New Testament here, but in Matthew, Jesus is asked in chapter 22, you can write this down, you can see on the screens, chapter 22, right around verse 37 and 39, he's asked, they say, Teacher, what is the greatest commandment of all? What's the one greatest commandment? And he says to them, he said, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. And before they could say anything else, he said, and the second is like it. The second is like it. The second is like it. Don't forget that the second is like it. Did I say it enough times? You shall love your neighbor as yourself. Here's the thing. If truly we experience the love of God, and I say the word experience because what I mean is we love God, we receive God's love, and it transforms our life. Whether we're good at it or whether we're not good at it, whether it takes practice and it comes naturally or it doesn't, we will be compelled to love the people around us. And we know that when we do that, kingdom impact happens. I don't need Authentic City to grow. I want it to be healthy. I'm not concerned with whether we baptize and see 10 million come to know Jesus, or whether we see 10,000 come to know Jesus, or whether we see one come to know Jesus. Kingdom impact. I care not just about what's happening here, what's happening in the kingdom. We're advancing not just the local church or one church, the church, God's church, when we love God and love people. You know, the thing, though, is it's hard. Love is hard. I was telling my wife this week, or I was telling my wife today, we were driving here, and I was like, babe, honestly, this is a hard one for me to get up and talk about. Because I feel like specifically this week, and I've known I'm going to talk about this for several weeks, but I feel like specifically this week, God is just opening up my eyes to my own lack of love that I have. And so to get up on stage and be like, hey, I'm going to charge everybody. We're going to love people. And I feel like I've been failing in loving people well. It's like, God, I can only do this when I'm leaning into you. Why am I trying on my own? Why am I trying on my own strength when you're my strength? It's hard. But here's the thing. Culture wants you to be known by what you wear. Oh, he's a Nike guy, he's an Adidas gal, Reeboks. He's got these little gray pants on, he got them rolled up at the bottom or whatever. I bought them on Amazon. What's up, man? They want you to be known by what school you went to, what school you're going to. Culture wants you to be known by your degrees and your job, by how you talk, what friends you have, the places you go. These are the things culture's like, hey, brand yourself. Put something clever in your Insta bio. Tweet something out really quick. Post these pictures on Facebook so people know, like, so everyone knows, like, hey, this is how they should know you. But the problem is that there's one thing that God has called us to be set apart by. And it's not any of those things. He's called us in John chapter 13, verse 35. He's called us to be set apart by one thing. He said, they will know you by your Reeboks. No, he did not say that. They will know you by your joy. I love joy, man. You ever had someone who's joyful? That's awesome. They're not going to know you by your joy. Sorry. They're not going to know you by your patience. Because the root of all these things is what they will know you by. They will know you by your love. And there are hungry people out there. The culture is out there, and it is ready to grab a hold of something. It is looking for restoration. It is looking for a hope. It is looking for peace. Drive around and look at it. Who was in the storm? Who were in the storm last night? It was hitting my house, like my area, hard. Trees were getting knocked over. Power's going out. Our internet went out. We had to reset the passcodes. I don't even know the passcodes. She's like, what's the passcode? I'm like, I don't know, babe. We're like looking on the box. She's like, T, capital R, 789. I'm like, you know. Turmoil happening all around. But the turmoil was us with the passcodes. But the storm was also bad too. But they will know you by your love. Because when love stands up in the midst of that, what is around it has to change. Let me show you this. Here is what I have. Here is something maybe that will help you. You know you love my illustrations, you know. Here's something that may help you understand a little bit of what I'm saying, okay? They will know you by your love, all right? So here's the way this works. I have laid out for you just some basic areas of your life, okay? So you have here your workflow, all right? Your friends at work, you know, it's how you are at work. And don't pretend like sometimes you're not different at work than you are other places. We all know. Okay, sometimes you're not, sometimes you are. But this is your workflow, okay? It's your homies at work that you don't hang out with when you're not at work. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's what happens there. It's who you are there. It's the culture of your work and all of that. Okay, here you go. This is your friend flow right here. This is who you are when you're with your friends. It may be very different or maybe the same as when you're with your workflow, okay? You got your friend flow, man. It's who you hang out with. It's where you go to for your advice. It's who speaks into your life, right? When you're hurting, when you're crying, when you're happy, when you're sad, when you're getting married. We had a little couple get married this past weekend. Where you at? The couple that got married? Oh, stop. They're here. They got married a few days ago, and they're here. I'm like, yeah, okay. This is who you go to when you're getting married. You invite them. It's your friend flow. Okay, you know what I'm saying? This is your flow. You're like, what's my flow? I'm like, you know what it is. It's who you really are. It's your Spotify playlist. It's what you look at on Instagram when your friends ain't around. It's just you. And you're going to the bathroom and you're like, I'm going to look on Instagram, you know? It's what you would do if you didn't have the social pressures of your friend flow and your work flow and your family flow, you know? Would maybe lay there or maybe go for a run. I don't know. It's your flow. It's who you are. Right? It's like, you know, hey, if I wasn't this or wasn't around these people, I would really be like this, you know. Or I really see myself, you know, really being outgoing, but I just never tell the jokes because I'm always afraid. It's your flow. Okay? And then you got your church flow. Don't leave it out. It's real. And here's the thing. Culture needs you to have it. They need you to go. Because it's a safe place for you to go and be mediocre. What, was that too strong? Sorry. It's a safe place for you to go and sit. And then leave and come back and sit and leave and sit and leave. And so you got your church flow. It's very important. And so here's what we do is you're the sponge. Okay, green is life or something, you know. So you're the sponge and you got your workflow and, you know, you like chilling in it. And it you know, it's getting on you because you're there, you know. And here's work and you like got that 9 to 5 or maybe you got that 4 to 5. I don't know, whatever. Maybe you're like, whoa, I'm all the way in. I don't know, whatever. Where you at? And then you go and you got your friends, you know, and you're hanging out with them like it's, you know, you're a sponge. So it's like, you're soaking up some of this stuff, and so they're saying some stuff they shouldn't be saying, or whatever, going to see movies you shouldn't see, and you got your friend flow, and then over here, you got your flow, and it's like, no one's around, so I'm going to put on this, do this or do that or whatever, and so I'm just kind of doing my thing, or no one's around, so it's just like a really good thing, like, I'm an introvert, so I'll just lay here and do nothing, or I'm an extrovert, so I'm not going to take any time to sit and be still. I'm just going to go all the time, It's your flow, and you got that going on, and, it's good. But then, you come to church. Get your church flow, man. You dress up or you don't. We don't care. You dress however you want. And then you come here, and it's like church, man. You're trying to soak up, So you got to get soaked up, right? This is church flow. You're like going in on it, you know what I'm saying? Like, songs are going, you're raising your hands, you're doing your thing. And then you're like, hey, love changes things, so here I am, like, going to drop a little bit over here. Going to drop a little bit over here. Oh, maybe I get dropped in there. Well, I'm going to drop a little bit over here. Oh, this is the workflow. Like, the work phrase, they need Jesus. So I got to really, you know what I'm saying? But then you get a little bit on them on you. It's like, hey, it's next week again. Going back to church. Here we are. Going back to church. Doing my thing. And, love changes the culture around me. Here it is. Flow. I'm not listening to as much bad stuff as I used to or whatever, who knows. And here you are, oh yeah, friends had a hard day, so they need some of you, At the end of the day, this is what you're doing. A lot of this is what we're doing. And when I look at them, I'm like, there's not really any change that's happening here. Because we've made all the flows equal with church flow. But what's not supposed to be happening is you're not supposed to be coming here and soaking up, okay? Okay, I want you to come here, I want you to be here. But this is not for you to come and soak up. What's supposed to be happening is it's not supposed to be your church flow, okay? Hold on here. It's supposed to be your church overflow. And there's a compartment that culture does not want you to know about. It's been here the whole time. You were looking at it, you just didn't know it was here. And here it is. And inside it is really, it's not just a whole like, oh, I pour out here, I'm in church, I pour out, it's not that situation. It's God's love. It's like when you really go and you really spend time with them and you soak up in them. And then you come to church and instead of soaking up, you pour out. Because who you are and the love you have is not here, but you're using the love you have here to make a difference. And then you go back to spend time with God again. And you soak it up. And then you go to your flow. And look, it's changing now because you have the love of Jesus. Outside of any of these things, you found a real place where you can meet with God. You found a real way to study God's Word and to pray. You found a way to worship in your car no matter what's going on. And so you come here and you soak up again. And you say, you know what, friends? I got something for you. And when I pour it out on you, it changes who you are. You're not the same anymore. And you know what, Lord, friends? It's the same way. And when I pour it out, it changes who you are. And I'm no longer going to church and soaking up. I got an endless supply. I'm pouring out at church. I'm pouring out with my flow. I'm pouring out with my friends. I'm pouring out with my work. This is what it's like to be known by God's love. We don't come to soak. We come to overflow.
That's right.
And I believe when we start doing this, as a people and as a church, we will really begin to see the kingdom impact that they've been talking about for years that we've never seen. I don't mean that no kingdom impact has happened. I don't mean that because the Lord is sovereign. He's good. He does His will. What I mean is the revival we've all been talking about. What I mean is the overflow we've all been talking about. What I mean is the real breakthrough against pornography that you've been waiting on. What I mean is that relationships are actually restored, not just made a little bit better. What I mean is no longer are you struggling with addiction, but you broke through it, you look back, and you scoff at it. That's what I mean. So here's how we do this. Here's how we do this. Sponge in the presence of God. This is His love. Here's how we do this. We seek God. This is our vision statement. Write this down. This is what we're going to be going through over the next few weeks. This is a little taste. Okay, this is your appetizer for the next few weeks, all right? We seek God. We sow seed. We expect change. How do we seek God? We seek God through prayer. We seek God through His Scripture. We seek God through fasting. We seek God through seeking His gifts. We're going to be going through each one of these things over the next few weeks. How do we sow seed? What is that? We sow seed through how we share Jesus to people that don't know Him. We sow seed through how we're generous. We sow seed to how we empower people. We sow seed to how we disciple people. This is how we sow seed. Expect change. What do you mean? We expect that God moves. That He's a living God. And He's not just laying there, waiting around. And we expect. That's our faith. Our faith is active. How many heard that word? Was that last week only? From Pastor Lisette just tearing it up last week with faithing, man. I still got the notes in my journal right now. An active faith. An expectation. We expect change. We expect peace. We expect multiplication. We expect health. We have an expectation. It's not just like, well, I'll give and see what happens. Well, I'll read my Bible and see what happens. Well, I'll pray and, you know what? All we can do is pray. What? No. What we can do is pray.